Hello everyone, so this is day 20, fix the camera. Day 20 of the video challenge, and I have one more day to go, and I just want to say thank you to Taryn for inviting me into this challenge and for helping me to be more consistent with making my videos. Thank you so much, I love you. So what I want to talk about today is when your energy feels off balance, because right now I'm feeling that, and I'm actually, because I know I want to make a video, but I just seem off, and I really don't like making videos when I seem off. And so how do we do that when we know we're supposed to do something because we're committed to doing something, but our energy is like, I don't really want to do that? I just say just start doing it, because we'll get the energy as we move through it. Things will start flowing as we move through it. A lot of times just getting into action does release the resistance. Sometimes, we just need to stop, take a break or whatever. But a lot of times just getting into that action, a thought will happen, and then the creative expression will start happening, and you'll be like, oh my God, this is so cool, because you're kind of working through that emotional glue. It's different. So it's really important to listen within, but at the same token, it's also important to stay true to your commitments. And that's the thing with a lot of people. They say they're going to do something, and then they don't follow through, but what that does is weakens the energy in me and you. So we say we don't trust ourselves. Well, why don't we trust ourselves? Because we're not following through with what we say we're going to do. Or we have a feeling internally, but we say we're feeling this way, so there's incongruence, and that incongruence is like, I can't trust myself because I really feel this way, but I'm saying I feel this way because I want to look good to other human beings, because I don't want them to know that I feel sad or angry or whatever. And that really hurts us. That's self-abandoning. I talked about that before. And it's really important to recognize that. Recognize when we're being honest with ourselves and true with ourselves. Now, being honest with ourselves and true with ourselves doesn't mean that we have to enmesh ourselves in our feelings. Our feelings are our friends or our guides in this earthly ride. We need to understand our feelings. We need to befriend our feelings. We need to make peace with our feelings, every feeling that we're having. So many women deal with a lot of issues internally because they've repressed their anger along the way. Men are the same thing. They've repressed their sadness along the way, and that only affects us. And it's understandable, because if you're like me as a child, you were probably told, stop crying, don't be angry. If you cry, I'll give you something to cry about, or you got punished for being angry or whatever, and that you sucked up that energy, and now that energy inside of you. So anytime you have that angry, you're like, no, bad girl, you can't feel that. I'm gonna do something to get my mind off of it. I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna go even for a run, which there's nothing wrong with any of those things, because hey, you know what? It's a coping mechanism. It's a survival mechanism. So to be mad at ourselves for acting this way is not okay. I'm telling you, it's not okay, because what we need is more compassion. What we need is more compassion when we're aware of a certain part of us that acts in a way that we don't want to be, but we're doing it because our nervous system, because our automatic responses are programmed to keep us safe. And we found ways to keep us safe as little beings. It's really important on the healing journey is to see through compassionate eyes and not get mad at ourselves for how we feel inside and what we do on this earthly ride. You don't want to force healing. Healing will come up when it's ready. But the same token, you want to allow yourself to go into it. So what does that mean? So, for instance, if you're angry, instead of saying, oh, I shouldn't be angry or whatever, go into it. Go into that anger. That anger has information for us. It's either telling us that we're crossing our own boundaries, someone else is crossing our boundaries, or there's something that we need to pay attention in our life that we're not looking at. Every feeling has an important message for us. If we really listen within and become our own loving friend, that's how we'll truly win. Because the winning is peace, inner peace. The winning is integrated. The winning is when we have all parts of us on the same team and living in harmony internally. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have issues along the way, because we are. We're going to, until we leave this earthly play, we're going to have, because contrast creates expansion, or whatever you want to say, you know, it's like, that's what happens. It's like, okay, so everything in the universe contracts and expands, contracts and expands, and contracts, and you can never really go back to where you were once you have insight and awareness on a different view. That's why visualizing and imagining from where you're at today is going to expand as you move forward in this earthly play. What you want today is going to be different. You're going to have a different view from each step you take along the way towards your heartfelt dreams and goals and desires. And that's another thing. It's really important to check in with yourself. Is this dream that I'm wanting really from me, my heart, my soul? Or is it because my parents told me I should be doing this? Society told me I should be doing this. You know, I need to look good. You know, I need to hold an image so I will be loved and accepted. All those things creates inner conflict. And that's why a lot of people, you know, aren't really being able to manifest their dreams. Not everybody, but some, because it's not really in alignment with their truth. You know, you always want what's in the highest good for yourself and anybody else concerned. Say, for instance, you want a relationship with somebody, right? And you're like, okay, I'm imagine myself with this person. I really like her or him, and I want this to happen. It feels right. I know it's right. But you also want to put in what's in the highest good, because what you want may not be the highest good for them, and it may not even be in the highest good for you. Sometimes we're attracting from our initial attraction, and when we either do some healing or something else happens that we see a different perspective, you'll be like, yeah, maybe that person doesn't really resonate with me. How do I know? I just went through this. So, you know, it's really important to allow things to unfold naturally, to know that the universe is on your side. Now, if you don't trust the universe, it's really going to be hard to get through this life. And I know for me, I didn't, because of my perception of the universe. And my parents were kind of in that same category. And you know, I didn't trust my parents because they never followed through with what they said they were going to do. Plus, you know, they told me I was wrong, I was bad, I was stupid. They totally denied my reality and wanted to mold me and shape me into the person that they wanted me to be. And that's why I was so miserable most of my life journey. And that's the beauty when we start to really own who we are, when we go into our wounds and scars, when we go into our shame. Our shame is where, actually, that's where our talents, gifts, and abilities are. That's where our greatness lives. That's where the parts of us were denied because they weren't loved and accepted on this earthly ride. And to go into that, to bring that part up, to love that part of us, to embrace that part of us, and to really understand that no parts of us are bad or wrong. You know, there's ways that we've acted out that may not be healthy, that may be disruptive. What's most important is to take time to listen to that part of you and me, because this is how we'll get to know ourselves at a deeper level. This is how we'll get to know ourselves and what's right for ourselves, not by living by everybody else's rules, but by listening to the parts of me and you. Some parts of us need to be upgraded, you know, kind of raised in a way by a self-loving parent, the parent that we never had because we weren't raised in families that our parents saw us, heard us, and acknowledged how we felt, because they were still busy trying to control us and tell us how we should be. So now we have that opportunity. It doesn't matter how old you are, how old I am, we have that opportunity to reparent our inner child, to really help them feel safe and loved, so we can feel relaxed in our body gloves. So when we feel relaxed, we can actually go into our deepest truth, and we get there by going through the shadows of me and you. We get there by healing the emotional glue. We get there by loving ourselves unconditionally and letting our feelings flow naturally. We get there by allowing things to unfold naturally. We get there, we get here, come back home to center in the loving. So I hope this video inspired you in 1, 2, 10, 20 ways or another. Feel free to reach out for support. I would love to support you on your journey. I believe in you and I love you.